It's time for Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network. Tiger Talk, live from the Golden Q in Hayes. The Golden Q, dining, billiards, and a whole lot more. 2 blocks east of campus. The Golden Q. If the game is on, we're open. Tiger Talk is also brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Alice, banking one story at a time. The Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, expertise, technology, and compassion, all right here. Adams Brown, strategic allies and CPAs. BTI, your John Deere dealer in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family in partnership with your family. The Taco Shop, dine in, carry out, or delivery. You've never had it so good. G&L Tire and Automotive, complete automotive service and repair, and tires for all driving needs.
And a good Tuesday. Welcome into Tiger Talk. Gerard Welbrock with you. We'll be joined by women's basketball coach Tony Hobson, men's coach Mark Johnson, as we get down to the final stretch run here. 2 weeks left in the regular season, then on to the MIAA tournament. And we are live at the Golden Q today. Another Tuesday edition, our final Tuesday program, at least during the basketball portion of Tiger Talk. We'll be back next Monday, back on our regular schedule. Done with our stretch of Monday makeup games. Had 3 in 4 weeks, 2 for the men, 1 for the women. Last one last night for the men, a win over Lincoln, and now the Tigers set to hit the road this week at Lincoln Thursday, at Central Missouri on Saturday. And again, we're live at the Golden Q. If the game's on, they're open. And with that, we bring in the coach of the Fort Hays State women, Tony Hobson. Down to the stretch run, 4 games left, and obviously your team tied at the top of the conference standings. So all big games from here on out. And I guess if we told you on the very first program at the start of the season that you'd have two weeks left, 4 games to go, you'd be tied for the conference lead, I'm guessing at that point you'd have said, I'm in, let's go.
Yeah, I think anybody would take that. And, with everything that can happen during a season, both good and bad, with all the uncertainty that's always there at the beginning, and with your roster and with other teams, you don't know what everybody else has and how they're going to play and how it's going to pan out. I think you would take that.
Well, it's interesting, I guess, what a week makes. We last week at this time just kind of licking the wounds of a tough one in Tahlequah, lost to Northeastern State. You come home, you get a nice win over an incredibly improved Rogers State squad. It's amazing how much better they're playing. And then you get the rematch, and I know a lot of people made a big deal about revenge and avenging that loss. And you got the job done. 2 nice home wins for your squad to kind of put you in this position here with 4 games to go.
Well, especially, I thought Thursday we came out and played well. Defensively, we were really into it, and you can kind of sense when your kids want to turn they want to turn the page, and let's get the feeling from Monday's loss and bad performance out of the way, and let's get a good one under our belt so we can feel better about our games and our situation and move on. And so I thought Thursday was excellent. Got good play from everybody, and like I said, when you can beat I think they're much improved. I mean, they'd come off a 3-game win streak against Rogers, we're talking about, against Pitt, Washburn, Emporia, and to beat them by 30. And I don't know, it just never seemed like, I mean, it isn't like you just were drumming them. It just was kind of methodical. Mm-hmm. It was 6-point lead, and then you look up and it was 12, and then you look up and it's 16 or 18, and then before long it's out of hand. So it wasn't any just flash like we have been, maybe just blasting somebody in a quarter and playing them even the rest of the way. It was just kind of beating them 6 or 8 each quarter, and a pretty workmanlike victory on Thursday, and that gave us our 20th win for several years in a row now.
11 in a row, in fact.
Yeah, so that's always kind of a milestone for basketball teams. Mm-hmm. When you schedule 28, and there's no guarantee of making the postseason in our league. There's you only used to be 8, now you take 10 out of 14, but there's 4 teams that don't make any postseason games. So, if you can get to that 20-win mark, you've had at least a pretty decent year, and So it was good to get there and then add on to that on Saturday.
Yeah, it was certainly a fun week for the squad and great crowds. And we kind of take it for granted, but over 2,000 on Thursday, 32 plus on Saturday. I think it's the largest Division II crowd anywhere in the country this season. It was what Fort Hays State had on Saturday. So easy to take it for granted because it happens every year. But what a great atmosphere for both games. It was fun. You could tell Saturday, and I'm sure your team was obviously, but you could tell from the crowd, from the opening tip, there was a different energy level. What happened on Monday, the fans took that to heart as well.
Well, for one, we had a pretty good student contingent, and I think they were into it, and they sat down by the opposing bench, and we always have the good band there, and I don't know, it was just a good atmosphere both nights, but especially Saturday, like you said. And a lot of our home games there in conference came right after Christmas, so the students weren't back yet. So it just seems like we've had hardly any home games with that the students have been there in any number. So hopefully we get them out here again for our senior day next Wednesday. Because that'll be the last one of the year.
Yeah, hard to believe we're to that point already. Just one more home game left on the schedule. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk more about the Rogers win, the Northeastern win. Obviously, we're going to preview another big week on the road at Lincoln on Thursday and then Central Missouri on Saturday. Tiger Talk presented by G&L Tire and Automotive. They've got tires for all driving conditions and budgets, along with complete automotive service and repair. That's G&L Tire and Automotive, just east of 8th and Main. They're on the bricks in downtown Hays. We'll take a break. More to come with women's coach Tony Hobson as Tiger Talk continues here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction. Roto holds it above her head, takes a dribble, finds Bergman in the circle, back to Emma, in low to Hollenbeck, back to Bergman, 18-footer, rattles home. Great possession. They moved it side to side and found an open Sydney Bergman, who has 10, 33-21. She's matched her season high. That was some of the action from Saturday. The Tigers win over Northeastern State. They won that game 78-59 after their win over the Rogers State Hillcats on Thursday. We're live at the Golden Q in Hays, 2 blocks east of campus. Of course, they have their daily food and drink specials, the burger of the month, and a whole lot more. So stop on by the Golden Q if the game's on. They're open. Heard a highlight there from Sydney. Boy, she had a good weekend. 7 points, 6 boards against Rogers, and then 15 points and 3 rebounds in the game Saturday against Northeastern State. Inserted in the lineup, and she really responded. You kind of tweaked the lineup a little bit, bringing Whitney Randall off the bench, and it seemed to work for everybody. Sydney played well. Whitney played maybe some of her best basketball in a few weeks. It just seemed to be pushing the right buttons here at the right time, I guess.
Well, I don't know. All I know is that you can do things like that if you're coaching unselfish, team-oriented kids that are, that their maturity level is high enough to say, you know what, I don't know what you're doing, Coach. I don't know why I'm not starting, but if that's what you want to do, I'm fine. I'll play. Sometimes there just has to be a level of trust there, and like I said, when you're coaching kids that are interested in winning and not necessarily who gets credit, then you can kind of do things like that, hoping to make your lineup better or hoping to get better performances out of other people, or maybe just depending on who you're playing or what your strategy is. So I'm dealing with my kids or my players. I call them my kids.
Kind of like your kids.
Yeah. I'm dealing with the cream of the crop here, and we've got unselfish, team-oriented kids that are interested in something together as a team, and that's winning.
Well, you put 11 straight 21 seasons. I mean, that doesn't happen if you don't have what you just said, and that's kind of become a culture. And, Sydney does all of those things that never show up in a box score, stat sheet, but then help you win basketball games. And then when she goes out and starts scoring like she has been, that's just another dimension for your squad. And then I think same thing with Whitney, what she brings, just her energy and the way she plays, bringing that off the bench right now. I mean, that's a pretty good combination.
Well, it is. And the thing with Sydney is one reason she scores some is because people aren't guarding her. And now she's making them pay for it, and now she will start drawing maybe a little more attention, and it'll either open up the drive for her or open up something else for some other player. So, boy, when you're just well-rounded, it can do more than one thing. It makes everybody else on the floor better.
Emma Ruddle came off the bench on Saturday, and she's won her playing time. Had kind of gone down, but you see her out there working on her shot, and you can see noticeable difference. She's got that quick release, and she was on fire off the bench for you on Saturday afternoon. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, to say she came off the bench is kind of an understatement. I mean, she came off the bench and was ready to play, and that's just. It's so easy for players like her in her position to get discouraged and to give up and quit working at their game. She does extra stuff all the time because she's not getting the playing time to keep her in condition. So she puts in that extra time. So in the event that she gets an opportunity, she's ready. And that's exactly what she was. She was ready. And she gives us, between her and Kate Dilsaver, I'm not sure we can have them both on the floor at the same time because the rest of our team might not be able to keep up with them. But it's a luxury to have kids that athletic. And Emma is super athletic, and she's always worked hard. I think, with her and her shooting, if you noticed the other night, every one of her shots was a good shot. She was squared up. She had time. And I think with her, some of it has been in the past maybe just shot selection. And now she understands which ones to take and which ones not to. And she's a good shooter, and she puts the time in. So I was happy for her. I thought she played more than 11 minutes with her production. So. When you get in like that and you take advantage of it, you earn maybe more minutes and a longer look, and so hopefully she can just keep that up.
Well, and as we get to the stretch run and the postseason, I mean, you never know, and we see it all the time. Foul trouble, whatever the case, someone just not playing as well. It seems like you need an unsung hero somewhere along the way to get you through a game and get you through a rough spot within a game, and who knows who it might be. But right. You certainly got a lot of worthy candidates who maybe don't play a ton for you, but yet they're capable of coming through if they need to.
Yeah, well, if you can only count on your players that are playing 30 minutes, then you've got 2 or 3 kids you can count on. And if something's they don't feel good that day, or they don't sleep good the night before, they have a sore back from their mattress, or whatever. It might be 50 different things. Pre-game meal didn't set right, or whatever. It can be a bunch of things. We all have days we don't feel our best, but if you have 8 or 9 where you don't, then your chances of getting caught with not ready are a lot slimmer.
Tigers getting set for a big road trip this week out to Missouri. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit, but we're at the bottom of the hour, so let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wurtenberger Construction.
Whether it's beer, wine, or spirits, pick up a winner at either of the 2 convenient Kaiser Liquor locations in Hayes. Kaiser Liquor and 14 KEYS Hayes.
Tiger Talk is presented by Golden Belt Bank in Hayes and Ellis. Here to make every story shine brighter. It's the way they do banking, one story at a time. Check them out at goldenbeltbank.com. It's Tiger Talk on this Tuesday. Appreciate you joining us. We'll be back to Monday the next 2 weeks here in the basketball season for the program. Back to our normal Monday here at the Golden Q, 2 blocks east of campus. We're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll come back. We'll preview this road trip for the Tiger women at Lincoln on Thursday, at Central Missouri on Saturday. We'll do that after the break here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wurtenberger Construction.
It's fact. 8th Street Liquor is where good times start. Next fact, 8th Street Liquor has the best selection and prices on beer, liquor, and wine. Okay, I don't want to bore you with all the facts, but the fact of the matter is, you just can't get better than 8th Street Liquor. Yep, 8th Street Liquor, where good times start. That's the fact. Jack? Oh yes, they have plenty of Jack too.
Evans into the front court, plays it to Randall. Nearly a back court there. Gets it up top to Hollenbeck, now to Ruddle. Open left wing three, bang! She's hit her second of the game. Ruddle has 8 in the quarter, 41-31. Yeah, that was some of the highlights from Saturday. It seems like an Emma scores there in bunches. I think she scored 8 in a row for you, hit those threes, and also had a 2 in there as the Tigers went on to beat Northeastern State. We're live at the Golden Q, Tiger Talk with Fort Hays State women's basketball coach Tony Hobson. I know you had a press conference today. I think you got asked about the upside. You kind of addressed it with Dustin after the game on Saturday, but don't feel your team's even, there's still ceiling for this squad, even though we're down to 2 weeks left in the regular season.
Well, I feel like there is, and I've been told before that sometimes I'm unrealistic. That you're 21-3 and you're playing good, and you're just not able to play how you want them to every game. It's impossible, and maybe it is, but boy, I've also grown to know that if you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it. So, if you just keep after your team and telling them that, hey, you're doing okay, you can do better, and I think sometimes you get it out of them that when you wouldn't if you don't ask. So, I think there's always room for energy level improvement, just playing harder. I think we're getting really close to where I like to be there, and I think that's why defensively you'll see some teams get better. First of all, you have to have the energy there, and you have to be willing to really get after it, not pace yourself and worried about, if I'm going to play 25 minutes, I can't play 25 minutes as hard. Then you need to not play 25 minutes. You need to play as hard as you can for 20 and let somebody else go. So first of all, it's just a mindset. And then I think we've changed a lot of stuff offensively, and we always, I always put in stuff during the year and add and tweak, and maybe this year I've overdone it a little bit. I mean, I think a couple times we've tried to change maybe too many things and maybe confused our kids more than we confused the other team, and that's always a kind of a fine line. So you have to just find a happy medium there. But I think I think we can play better than what we're playing, and hopefully we will down the stretch here.
And you mentioned defense. I think it felt these last two games that the defense did, ratchet up a little bit. Not that it's been bad, but it just felt like it was a little bit better. And I would guess that's the area that. And when you get in the postseason, I mean, offense is great, but the teams that can play better defense seem to be the ones that advance and move on. But that might be the area you can have the most improvement in.
I thought we were a little stingier than we have been, and I just try to get our kids to play with a little edge, and maybe even a little of you're not scoring on me. Mano a mano type thing, where just take some, just do not let your man score. Do not let your man get the ball. If you don't want to, I was never a great defender, but if I didn't want to guard my man with the ball, I just worked really hard for about 3 seconds to not let him have it, and then I could not play defense. I didn't have to guard my man one-on-one. So that's what we talk about, if don't let your man have the ball if you don't want to guard him. But I think we're getting better. You have to remember that we've only really got 3 kids that have played in the program very much, and a lot of times coming out of high school defensively is where they're lacking. backside help and how you're going to cover on-ball screens. And everybody's just so much more, they're more talented than what they've seen. Instead of one or two kids they kind of have to look out for, now you got to look out for all five. So defensively it's a place you can always grow, and we hope to continue doing that the next couple weeks.
Well, let's talk about this weekend on the road Thursday in Jefferson City against Lincoln. Then you have Central Missouri on Saturday. I don't think there'll be any problem for your team to get excited about Central Missouri. I mean, it's become a big rivalry. I mean, they make deep runs into the NCAA tournament. But I would guess Thursday is a concern just because you look at the standings, and there's Lincoln at 1-17 in the conference. Easy to overlook them, but as we found out, especially on the road, you just can't do that in the MIAA.
No, you can't. And they've like we've looked at their last couple games against Washburn and Emporia, and they were both double-figure wins for Emporia and Washburn, but they were both single-digit going into the fourth quarter. They were not out of the game at all. They're really athletic, can get to the basket, and you got them at home. And last Monday we played a team with 5 wins too. Lincoln's got 5 wins, so it's seriously a trap game. Maybe you can survive with one slip up like we had, probably not 2. So let's just get through that one, and then we have three games against top half teams that you've already beat before, but they were all tough games, and it's all right in front of us. We just have to take care of our business, and things will be okay. I worry regardless. I would worry if we were playing somebody I knew we were going to beat, that maybe something would happen. So of course you're worried, but you just trust that your kids are going to be ready to play and that they understand what's on the line, and they come here to play in pressure games and to of course be in the conference tournament and to make the NCAA tournament and try to win the conference. And that's why we got several of these kids, is because they want to play for that. So we're giving them that opportunity.
Well, and as you said, I mean, you hear it all the time. You have to take it one game at a time. But I would think, you're getting close now to the end of the season. Conference tournament's just around the corner. Very important to just stay focused on the task at hand. Like for Thursday, let's win Thursday, and then we'll worry about the rest after that. But to really hone in on just the task at hand in front of you.
Yeah, and even yesterday. Yesterday was a setup day for like maybe one of the worst practice days in the history of basketball. You're towards the end of the season. Our men are playing a game at 5. We're practicing. We start practice at a 4:45 because we had kids in class. We lifted before practice. We're in the back gyms. A recipe for an awful practice. Yeah. Well, I'm tired from weights. Well, I'm sore from weights. Well, I'm tired because I was in class all day and I had class. Or it's Monday. That's a big enough.
Yeah.
But we had a great, it wasn't a long practice. We had a great practice. Everybody was attentive. They were into it. We got a couple things done we really needed to get done. And I'm hoping that's indicative of what we'll see the rest of the week. But I can see our kids kind of getting zeroed in and understand that it's now or never. It's put up or shut up. And let's see, what other little lines can we can we come up with that have been used way too much. But I think they understand the stakes here, and they're ready to go.
That sounds good. Well, it should be a fun weekend, as they are this time of the year. Have a good rest of the week of practice, and we'll see you in Jefferson City on Thursday.
Okay, thanks, Gerard.
You got Tony Hobson, coach of the Fort Hays State women again. 7:30 on Thursday, or 5:30 on Thursday night for the women as they take on Lincoln, and then it'll be a 1 o'clock start, a little bit earlier than normal, 1 o'clock in Warrensburg for the Jennies of Central Missouri on Saturday afternoon. Tiger Talk brought to you by Adams Brown, where they do more than just run numbers and file tax returns. They work hard to become strategic allies. Adams Brown, strategic allies, and CPAs. We'll take another break. Mark Johnson, head men's coach, joins us after the break here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wurtenberger Construction.
It's fun.
Ready to discover something new? The next time you're in your car, tune your radio to 94.3 FM.
It's here.
It's Hayes' greatest hits.
Love it.
On 1400 KAYS and 94.3 FM.
94.3 FM, KAYS. Go ahead, check us out.
Pitched him in low. Guarded by the 7-footer Luster. Out to Trajan. Davis a three. He hit another one. He is on fire. He's hit 5 of his last 6 over the last 3 games. And an 11-point lead. 51-40. Yeah, Trajan Davis last week, Fort Hays State goes 3-0 on their 3-game homestand. Now gets set for 3 of their final 4 on the road here over the final 2 weeks. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. We are live at the Golden Q, 2 blocks east of campus. If the game's on, they're open. Tiger Talk also presented by the Taco Shop. Dine-in, carry-out, and delivery. 625-7114. Or, of course, you can use their handy Taco Shop app. Download it for a complete menu. Contactless delivery options, all at the Taco Shop. You've never had it so good. Men's coach Mark Johnson joining us, and we talked going into this stretch. Obviously, was the 4-game road swing was a tough stretch and a crucial one. You came out 3-1, then these 3 at home, and you go 3-0. And as I kind of talked with Tony Hobson, I guess if the season started and you'd be in 3rd place, just a game out of 2nd and 2 back in the loss column with 4 to go, you take those odds going into the season, and your team's right there. And now see if they can't finish the deal here in the next 4 games.
Yeah, we've done a good job over this last stretch. Like I said, we had this 2 straight weeks of on the road, 4 games, and we did a great job of handling that, not letting the season get away from us there. Then you come home and you got 3 important home games that you got to take care of business, and our guys, did what they needed to do, showed some maturity, and continued another week of keeping us in the hunt and all that. And now you got to go out with 2 hard weeks, like I said, 3 of the 4 on the road, and it'll be a challenge, but hopefully this week we can continue this run here and have a good, successful road trip. We've been good on the road this season. We've only lost 2 games, which we have 3 left. So right now in conference play, we're 6-2. That's pretty good. They might have to go on the road and be 6-2. Let's hope these last 3 games we can have the same kind of success.
Well, and your team, and I think everybody has kind of seen that blueprint. I mean, play good on defense. Your team did that on all 3 of the games here, and find enough offense. And you kind of touched on it after the game, and it kind of gets lost too. Your offensive numbers may not look great as far as your scoring. I mean, you're not in the 70s and 80s, but when you play defense, they are long possessions. I mean, teams aren't getting the shot off unless they want to, but most of it's late in the shot clock. And then you guys are very diligent in running your offense. So the possessions are shortened up. You look at some of the shooting numbers here lately and 3-point shooting and all that. They're actually pretty good, but the possessions are just so less because of defense.
Yeah, our defensive style, we're not going to press you. We're not going to, trap you, speed you up and do those things. That's not never really been our style. I mean, we're more about making you take hard shots, and that's just personality-wise how our program has always been. It's hard for us or me to live with giving up layups, you know what I mean? And sometimes when you're the different style, you people get quicker shots. The way we play, our guys force the other team to take some time and take to get a quality shot off. Then we come down and we try to take good shots. We don't have necessarily, like I said, a couple of the guys Emporia has that just, hey, here's the ball, and we don't need to do much. Just go make something happen. We're kind of limited in those areas. We have to help each other out, get a good shot off, and there's not a ton of possessions. I feel like we're getting here late in the year, and you don't really want it, but if it's going to be one way or the other, I feel like the last 2 games, we just look a little fatigued offensively. We're not cutting and moving as hard as you like, but I think also late in the year, and 2, our guys are spending a lot of energy on the other end. So if you're going to have it one way, you want them to maybe not be moving as hard on the offensive end compared to the defensive end. But yeah, like I said, last night we shot 50% from the field, 41 from 3. We didn't have a ton of turnovers. I mean, most nights you're going to take that. I mean, that's pretty good. Like I said, I think 50% would put you in 2nd or 3rd in the conference for the season. 41%, you'd be dang near leading the league in 3-point shooting for the year. So, just not a lot of possessions. Kind of what this formula has to, kind of what our team needs to do to be successful. And like I told them before the game, guys, do what you do. I mean, don't fix anything that's not broke right now. Don't think as we finish the year we need to do anything different than what's made us successful all year.
We heard that highlight from Trajan hitting the three. He scored, that was against Rogers. He scored 11 off the bench, 2 of 3 from 3, and he's kind of found that perimeter stroke. It's been fun to watch him emerge, and I mean, he plays hard, he does all those things, but that's been a nice element, and it seems like here in the last couple of weeks he's been able to kind of find his footing on the offensive end of the floor.
Yeah, it's big. I mean, he had 11 points back-to-back, I believe, of the Central Oklahoma and Rogers State game. And we need, we have that group of guys. We need to get something out. We don't need to get 20 out of them, but we need to get something. We can't get 0 because we've had some certain games where we just have got, not enough or close to nothing. And, Trajan's a guy that's starting to make shots. Gabe's shooting it better. Gabe going in last night's got his 3-point field goal percentage in conference all the way up to 38. Even B starting, he's made some threes here of late, and those are all big points for us. Elijah's contributed, and once he, I don't know if it's going to happen this year, gets a little more he's really lost all faith in his three-point shooting. You know what I mean? And he doesn't want to take him at all. And you just can't. And not that we want him to take a lot, because hey, statistically right now you don't need to take a lot. But he's just having a hard time. But we need those group of guys, and Jeff in that mix too. When those guys can make a few shots for us and go from 0 to 2 points and have 8 to 10, that makes a big difference for us.
Well, it was good to see Jeff knock a three down. Obviously, it has been a struggle here as of late, and it's shown in his playing time. But that was a good sign. He hit a shot. He's played some pretty good defense, and obviously we've seen what he can give this team. That Emporia game, and even before that, up until right before Christmas, he was doing some really good things, and you can just feel the confidence going away. That was hopefully a good first step for him, because you're going to need him here down this stretch run.
Yeah. I mean, we need him. We need them all, and 3-point shooting just so they can't overhelp on certain teams that have played us. And then what Jeff gave a little bit too. They're not necessarily great defensive rebounders. Like he's not tall enough, but they do a really good job on the offensive end of keeping balls alive. Come flying in there from the 3-point line and getting their hand. I think he had 2 offensive rebounds again last night. Those extra possessions that Jeff was giving us at the beginning of the year was really important, and that's why it's nice to have him out there, because he does give you those extra possessions. But it's the guy right now that can consistently make that shot, and it was him for a while, then it was Trey, and now hopefully it's both of them, and we'll just go with the guy that night that's making a shot.
Well, it was 2 nice wins, I guess 3 nice wins at home for Fort Hays State, and now they'll turn right back around and play the team they just beat yesterday, the Lincoln Blue Tigers. We'll talk more about that as the Tigers get set to hit the road. Tiger Talk is brought to you by the Hayes Orthopedic Institute. Expertise, technology, and compassion, all right here. That's the Hayes Orthopedic Institute. They're the official team physicians for Fort Hays State Athletics. We will take a break. Back with more with Fort Hays State men's coach Mark Johnson. Tiger Talk live from the Golden Q on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wurtenberger Construction.
That was another legend on 99 KZ Country. And yes, before that, we had a brand new artist. Your home for today's stars and the legends. We play real country. I'm Teresa Trapp. Weather, news, sports, it's all here. We're on Facebook, and there is a listen live link at hayespost.com. Dial us in on your radio at 99.5 FM. KHAZ, real country. 99 KZ Country.
Plays it up top to Vinston. Over to Hammock. He drives in for the dunk. He caught it left wing. There was nobody there, and he stuffs it with 2 hands. 43-29, 7-0 run by Fort Hays State. Yeah, Caleb had another nice game on Monday. There's a couple times you guys had some clear paths to the rim, which doesn't happen a whole lot. I'm sure for those guys, they're happy to see that and took full advantage of it.
Yeah, you don't get a whole lot of easy baskets at this level. You know what I mean? And the second half, Lincoln had some breakdowns there and had a little stretch and really allowed us to get it up to 20 pretty quickly. And Caleb again had a nice finish there with the dunk.
Well, nice play for Caleb. Yep, good to see him back after the rolling rolling the ankle on Saturday. Tiger Talk brought to you by BTI. They're your John Deere dealer. Locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family, in partnership with your family. We did have a question submitted to us. Again, you can do it anytime. Go to the FHSU Athletics webpage. Look for Fan Zone, and you'll get the drop-down menu. You'll see it there at the bottom. Submit your question. Chance to win a gift card for food here at the Golden Q. And it's about Jared Vitztum. And basically, just talk about what he's meant to the program over the years. And when you recruited Jared, did you ever think that statistically and he become the player that obviously we've all enjoyed watching here at Fort Hays State University?
No, I mean, I'd be lying. We recruit. Like I said, the thing that stood out about Jared, he has kind of an awkward shot. It's not, but we felt like he could shoot threes and could develop that. And like I always say, he has really quick feet. When you like I said, you base athleticism off running and sprinting and jumping and doing all that. He's not going to wow you. But I always say basketball is a first step sport. How quickly can you take that first step offensively and defensively? And we like that in him. So we thought he had a chance, and then really the rest is all on him. He has worked as hard as anybody. In the weight room was a big deal for him. He worked hard in the weight room, continues to work hard. Even in year 6, still puts the time and effort. Has put the time and effort in the gym to get better, shooting, better this, better that, better post moves, more physical. So he's done it all himself, self-made guy. And then he's been really important. He's been our mainstay now for 3 years in a row, the go-to guy that makes it happen for us. He's a tough matchup. He's a modern player in the fact that he's a rebounder. He can score around the post, but then he can step out, shoot threes, and drive you if you take away a shot, and that's what today's bigs have to be able to do, and those guys are really hard to get at our level. Yeah. You know what I mean? If they can do all those things, they're playing at usually Division I's want the same thing. So we're lucky to have him. Lucky, that he's a Hays kid, and I think that even makes it a more neat situation that here's a local kid that grew up in Hays and has been the player he has. And like I said, I know some people like I think now he's third off time in rebounding, and he is one of the greatest rebounders to ever play at Fort Hays State. I don't care extra year or not. He belongs up there in that group of the greatest rebounders to ever play at Fort Hays State. And in scoring, I think he's now 6th or something.
And past Greg Nicholson.
Yeah, and. But he's a top 10 offensive player. I mean, he deserves those numbers. He's one of the better players to play at Fort Hays State, and we're appreciative. We've had him. We got him extra year. It was even better, and we'll be sad to see him go. We've had him for a long time.
Well, it's fun for him to have success and have a season like this year. I mean, there was a few lean years when he first came up, and you could kind of sense it last year, and then to have some success with the team, that's been fun. And then you had Brady Worth, you had Hadley, a couple local guys. It's pretty rare to have that, so it's been really fun. All right, now you go back on the road. Lincoln, kind of odd. I was trying to think back. I think there was maybe a year or two of the MIAA. You'd start with an opponent, you'd come back, and then you'd reflip the schedule, and you may have played someone back-to-back. But very rare to play a team back-to-back like this. And at their place, it's a small facility. They're going to be it's going to be a different game. But it's a bit of a challenge to come right back and have to play these guys back-to-back.
Yeah. I mean, you don't do it very often. And like I said, for us, we just keep belaboring the point. We just need the win. It doesn't matter who we're playing. We got to keep winning games here the last 2 weeks. And then if Northwest has some failures here this week, then that Northwest game might mean something for the conference. Right now, we can't control what they do, so we can only control what we control. What we can control is try to get into the NCAA tournament without having to win the conference tournament necessarily. And we have 4 games to keep padding our resume and keeping us. I think the regional rankings come out tomorrow. I would assume we'd be in it if the tournament was this week. So if you keep winning, it's kind of hard to get knocked out. So we just need to focus on how important that win is and do what we need to do to win.
And they missed some shots. Everybody shoots better in their own gym. Do you change anything up a lot when you play a team back-to-back? Or you're probably
you always go back when you play. It doesn't matter if you play them a month ago or what. I mean, you look back and watch your game game again and see what they did that hurt you that maybe you need to be better prepared for, and what are some things that you did that hurt them. So, yeah, I mean, it won't be – we don't – our program, we do what we do. We don't change a whole lot defensively or offensively. But we work on trying to be great at what we do, and then we just go play the other team. But, yeah, there's minor adjustments.
Right, well, it's been a pretty good blueprint so far. Hopefully it continues. Coach, we appreciate it. Good week of practice this week. We'll see you on the road in Missouri.
All right, thanks, Gerard.
Mark Johnson, coach of the Tigers. Again, that'll be 5:30, 7:30 Thursday from Jason Gym in St. Joseph, Fort Hays State in Lincoln. And then Saturday, 1 and 3 from the multi-purpose building in Warrensburg, Missouri, Fort Hays State and Central Missouri. And we're back here Monday. Back to a Monday Tiger Talk next week. Hope you can join us. Program brought to you by Golden Bell Bank of Hayes and Ellis, Adams Brown, The Taco Shop, BTI, the Hayes Orthopedic Institute, G&L Tire and Automotive, and of course brought to you by the Golden Q, the 2 blocks east of campus. The Golden Q, if the game's on, they're open. For Mark Johnson and Tony Hobson, this is Gerard Wellbrock. So long, everyone.